Okay. There we go. So, I've done this video once already. YouTube decided to not save the stream. So I'm going to do it again. I'm going to be reading notes of things that I kind of covered in the first one that I may or may not remember this time around. So we're going to get in here and I'll get going. I use a lot of mods. Well, it's not so much all mods. There's a lot of equipment and some tractors, but there are some quality of life things. If your guys are interested at all in that, just let me know. I'll do an episode on all the things that I use, why I use them, etc. Okay, let's get into yonder tractor. And what we're going to do here, this is where I stopped. So we're going to go back over to the farm. Also going to set my time really slow just to get through this. Okay, so I'm just going to stop right here. Get it. No. Okay. So I have these bales from previous, 82%. Okay. So this is, oh geez, Osuna, I believe the map is called. I liked it because it was very non-flat. I could show you here. It has some nice curves to it. There's square fields, but there's fields that have curves on them and stuff. And I just really quite enjoyed it. So I believe I did farm managed mode. I don't even know where to look for that. Yeah, I don't know where the mode is in this. Anyway, it's the one where they give you like $500,000 in zero land, and you have to go from there. So I started with two fields, 42 and 43. I had those two, and I've taken. Let's see here if I can imagine this right. I've taken this part of this and made it my farm, basically. I guess you can't really see. I need to move myself a little smaller. Okay. So I've made this my farm. And this is a field. This, it wasn't really a fence. There was a couple trees in it. I've taken them down. So this whole, all of 43 and this half of 42 is a field. And then I bought 44 after, 39 after that, and I've just bought 45, which has soybeans on it. We're waiting for that to mature. I believe it might be now. Let's take a look-see. No, not yet. I did a couple times around in that video that YouTube didn't save. And I've got this big field here that we can do after. So that's the land I have currently as these. I guess 38 would be the next one to try if... do you show me? You don't show me. That's what I want to see. Soil types. So, silty clay, this stuff is not good. This is really good though. I have not scanned 42 yet. I'm assuming that it's going to have some sandy loam, which will be nice. I would think that this might run through here, so that's why I would take this big one next. How much does it cost? Yeah, 134. Yeah. Someday. Actually, this shows me here, doesn't it? It's mostly loam. Which is really good. What's this? Oh, this is not too bad either. 116, 111. Might take that one first, actually. A little cheaper. It's a little better return. Anyway, we'll worry about that when we get to it. So, $45. Let's get back to what I want to be on. It's growing, but 45 is corn. You can see here it's the corn. So that's this field here. And then I've got just grass, which I've been doing haylage bales. Because haylage is the best return profit-wise on your time investment. And I have all this stuff to do it. So a lot of stuff is set up for that. I did this in corn solely because I like doing something other than hay. It's nice to be able to combine some corn or soybeans or wheat or oats or whatever, which is really nice. This windmill was here as part of the map. I added the fuel station so I don't have to go anywhere for it. I also added the sell point because I don't want to have to drive all the way across the map just to sell a wagon of whatever. I prefer just to do it all here. I've got some seed left over. This is fertilizer, pressure washer, little wagon where if I chop down wood I can trailer that, cultivator. I don't have like a, we use what are they called, mold board plows, like 5 bottom plow, 6 bottom plows. It's generally what we use in this area, but these are starting to come around. I've seen some farmers start to get into the diggers. I put up the lights, I put up the barn. Of course, because this is a field, there was nothing here. I did a lot of landscaping. This is 4440. I have 2 of these. I have this one to do round bales with a pallet loader, which works fine. Corn head and oat head, if you will, soybean on this combine, which I have not upgraded yet because I don't have money. I'd rather have land first. My rake, big fertilizer, round bale or wrapper, and a gravity wagon. And a drill. And corn / whatever planter. Row planter, row crop planter. Sensor I could put on the front whenever I'm doing stuff if I want. And the mower was sitting in here. And I have this house. This is the back of the house. This thing here lets me pick wardrobe if I ever want to change it, which I never really do. And the reason for the house is front one so I can sleep. It's the only reason why it's really here. I put the light in. I did all the gravel driveway stuff. I put the lights in, the flowers in, the hedge in. I don't remember if this tree was here. It might have been. And then I did all this stuff just because I had money and I wanted to make it look fairly nice. Okay. So that's kind of the farm as of right now. That's the equipment that I have. This is my kind of first step back into doing this. I was going to do this when COVID hit. As me, like a lot of other people, got laid off from their job. And I started doing it, had everything all set up, and I just didn't get going on it, which I really regret now. I wish I had done it more in depth, more often, with the time that I had. What could I go to next? What I'm using for controls. You're going to kind of see my hands on stuff. It might be easier if I just show you. Let's make this a little bigger so you can kind of see it. And I will also... Ooh, that's the wrong thing. Nope. Nope. I didn't change anything. Go away. Okay. So you can kind of see me as of right now. So I have the Logitech farming package, whatever you want to call it. It's got the wheel here, which is clamped to the desk, along with the buttons and the controls, the joystick here, pedals on the ground. I also do flight simming, so I do have a yoke and I have another set of pedals down here. So I use the pedals that came with this. I use one of them for clutch. The other set is my yoke pedals. They're CH products, foot pedals. I use the one side, push on it for brake, and I can do gas with it if I want to do that. I also have up here a Thrustmaster. I forget what it is, a T. Hodis? I forget the model, but I use it for throttle. And I also have another joystick I can use for loading or whatever. So I have the two if I want to do, like if I want to do logging, and I want to be able to have the two joystick stuff and the foot controls. I can set that up and do it, and it works pretty decent, even though they feel a little different. This little guy on here is not quite so good. Let me can show you actually a little bit better. Let's try this. Ooh. Come here, you. Okay, so looking at it from my side, there's the wheel. There's the little bad joystick with the stuff, and then the other joystick here. I do use this as a throttle. I have my mouse over here, and I don't know if you'll be able to see the foot stuff. This webcam doesn't exactly go very far. Let me get some light here. There we go. So that's the FarmSim pedals, and then there's the two, and ignore my garbage cans in the background. Okay, that is that. Okay, so that's the equipment setup. Works rather well. Let's we'll turn these back on and make you smaller again. I'm not gonna show you that. Should I put myself in the other? I don't know if there's anything ever comes up on this side. Well, I guess if I go in here, yeah, I don't want to block the thing, but maybe I can do this. You should never need to see more than that. Okay. We'll leave it like that for a bit, and then we'll see what happens. Okay, next thing I had on my list, a little bit about myself. I was born and raised on a dairy farm in southwestern Ontario, Canada. So I'm very familiar with the equipment that I use in the stream. Like these John Deeres, we had one of these. It wasn't a 4440, it was one lower than that, but the exact same thing. It had the quad range, the throttle, and all this stuff was here. Radio was there. Everything is, this model is actually really, really good, and it does sound very much like the original tractor did. Pedals are in the exact spots they should be. The key, the PTO, the gauges look all right. So that's why I like using this tractor. It works really well. Watch out, I'm going to hit that. Like that engine sounds very much like the original tractor would. And I do, you can do shift clutchless between 1 and 2. So that would be like 1, 2. To go to third, I hit the clutch. Go to third, let the clutch out. Fourth, if I hit the right button, back and forward. Turn my hazards on. Make sure I'm not going to smack anything. Very good. Get ourselves lined up here. Turn hazards off. I should explain a couple add-ons that I do use. So you've seen me probably a few times just flipping back and forth like this. I think in FarmSim 19, that was possibly a built-in thing. It might have been an add-on too that I just don't remember. But I had to find one for FarmSim 22. It's actually not going directly back. It is flipping the camera just really fast. You can kind of see it a little bit. I don't know if YouTube's going to show it up. But this is just so that I can turn around, see what's behind me real quick. Or I can use this to look around as well if I want to. My little joystick right here. But sometimes they'll do that. I mean, it doesn't look realistic. It really doesn't. For the amount that you can see, and you can change the field of view. The problem with doing this is that it just seems like all it does is it moves you back, and things start to look really distorted and weird. But it does give you a little bit more field of view, a little more realistic. I would think that you can see way more than that. If you were looking and sitting in a tractor looking. You would see more of the sides. But I mean, we can only do what we can do. It would be great if Giants would add some sort of VR capability. I do have an Oculus Rift. It's CV1. It's the old, very first version that came out. But they've said that they're not going to do that. I guess they feel that there's not enough interest or use to do the R&D for it, which, I don't know. A lot of people online are saying it's pretty easy to implement. And really all I don't even care about the 3D. I just need something that sits on my head, that if I turn my head to look, the camera goes with it and I see it. Some people use head tracking for this, which I find is not really useful, because if I'm going to turn my head and if I turn my head, it's going to do that, and then I turn my head and it comes back. But the problem with that is that when I've got my head over here, I'm not looking at the monitor. So what's the use? What's the point? It's not going to do anything good for me. I need to have something on my head when I turn, and it moves it in. Yeah. Anyway, that would be nice. It'd be great if they would do that. The immersion factor would be perfect. But I'm not going to hold my breath. So let's cut some hay. We'll turn that guy on. We'll give her a little throttle. Oh, that's the other thing I should mention too. Some of the things that add-ons that I use. So the one was this. The other one is called Real Gearbox, and that's what allows me to use my pedals down here as a clutch. A little bit better than what the FarmSim 22 clutch. It's nice that they kind of tried to add that in. They didn't do a very good implementation of it, I don't think. It's not real. It doesn't seem real. It was very fake. With this add-on, it is very real. So I'm sitting in neutral right now with the brakes on. The other thing I can do with this is I can do this real quick and look forward and backward. So you can see brakes, no brakes, turning the brakes on and off. So if I try to shift to first without my clutch in, well, it did it there. It's going to make a liar out of me, but it stalls a lot of the time if you try to do that too much. But so what I can do here is, so right now I'm in D range, and we're going to go down to B just to show this a little bit more. But if I'm in first, if I let off the brakes, it's a downhill a little bit. But I'm going to slowly let off my pedal clutch down here, and you'll see that it starts to move slow. And as I let it out, there, I'm off. It's nice. It's like a real clutch. I push the clutch in, push the brakes, it stops me. I want to go backwards a bit just to get to the front of this hay here. So anyway, yeah, Real Gearbox. I'm not sure how much it's being developed anymore. There is one little thing you have to do when you first go into the game. You have to be in a tractor that has an implement on the back. You can see in the upper left corner my little tractor. Let me see if I can get that little there. It's in a tree. You can see it. So right now the white thing is the mower, and I can select different things by moving like this. I'm not quite sure why my tractor's moving right now. I have the brake on. But when you first get into it, you have to go implement tractor. You have to move your throttle, and then you can start it and everything will work. If you just get into the game, get into the tractor, start it up, your throttle won't work right. You have to redetect the mapping or just go back out and do that little procedure. So first thing you got to do anytime you come in, get in a tractor with an implement, just go back to front, and then that's it. Don't have to worry about it anymore. I'm not quite sure why I'm moving. I don't think that mower weighs that much. Anyway, so that's that. We'll stick her up, we'll stick her down, we'll give her some throttle. I'm going to want to be in B3. And we'll give her a little more, and away we go. I can look out like this if I want. I generally don't. It's because immersion breaking, if you will. It's not quite real. This is very real. Well, as real as you can be, I guess. We'll just go around and do a couple of things of this. A couple rounds. It's nice to be able to flip to views if you want to. Like, I wanted to make sure I wasn't missing anything there. I'm going to split this in half, roughly. Maybe not. I'll go to the other side. Now we can go up. Mowing at 12 kilometers an hour. Some mowers you could do that in real life. These disc mowers are very quick. I try to make these a little smoother, these corners and edges and stuff. Now, I can't do it because I don't want anything to happen with copyright, but there is a built-in kind of streaming radio, if you will, in the game where you can put streaming radio links under presets and turn the radio on and it'll actually stream it in the game. It's kind of nice. I generally will do some sort of a 80s radio. I think it's 1.fm, I believe is what the streaming service is that I have. It's nice. It takes me back to the old days of doing this in real life. I'm trying not to move this very quick because it can be a little sickening. Oh, just the littlest little bit there I didn't get. Okay. I should talk about my computer a little bit, I guess, once I get going here. So it's not new by any stretch of the imagination. It's a Core i7. Yeah, Core i7 9700K. I do have it overclocked to 4.9 gigahertz on all 8 cores, and it stays at 4.9 gigahertz all the time. I don't believe in. I think it's Intel Speed Step. It's not something that I was very fond of ever having on. I'm like, why do I want to have this CPU and then have it clock back to gigahertz when it could do, so much more? I don't want to, even if it's not a big load, I don't want to run Windows on 1 gigahertz. I want to run it on 4.9. So, That's what she does for that 32 gig RAM. The video card is a Zotac GTX 1070, not a TI. It's old. It does this okay. Would I love to upgrade? Yes. Am I going to in the near future? No. Not with the way video cards are priced these days. That's not going to happen. It's not worth the little bit of... I mean, if I got a 4000 series RTX or whatever, it might be double the performance, which would be nice. But again, I'm not going to spend $1,200 Canadian on a card just for that. This works fine. Simulators, you don't need to have 144 hertz. Doesn't matter. Let's see if I'm going to hit any of that stuff. Nope. Good. For drives, my main system drive, C drive, is a 1 terabyte NVMe. It's not a Samsung. I'm not even sure what it is. I can't remember. It's been so long since I looked and or put it in. I do have another NVMe in there. I run OBS on it, which is what I'm recording this on. I have some games on there. I'm not sure if... I don't think Steam stuff is on there. It might be, but I don't remember. I haven't looked at it for a long time. And I have 3 1080 monitors. I flirt with doing what NVIDIA calls surround, which basically means you take your 3 monitors, you stitch them together. So Windows thinks it has a 5670 by 1080 monitor, even though they're 3 separate. Because FarmSim would pick that up and you can actually run it on all 3. It kind of stretches it weird. It's not exactly set perfectly for it. You can see more, at least to the sides. It does make it a bit better. I toyed with that for doing recording like this, but it was going to be so wide and so flat, like height wise. It's going to be skinny and very long. It wasn't going to work right, to be honest with you. So I just decided to do the normal 1080. Mowing hay, doing farming, cutting stuff. Alright. Get out of here, birds. Get out of here. So the rake that I have will basically take 2 of my mowing widths and put them into 1. Which seems to work fairly well. Just push the right button, it'll come up, Kev. Looking back like that also centers my camera, so if I go off a little bit, I can just make it centered again. You can see why doing this is kind of a little bit boring. I mean, it's enjoyable, but it's way more fun to combine corn than just mow grass and then rake it and then bale it and get it on wagons. And it takes a little bit of time to ferment. Like those ones that we first got in here, they were 86% or whatever. I've got bales in that far field I haven't even picked up yet. And then we're going to have more here, so it's almost like you need double the wagons. Let's run like this for a little bit. That's a wimpy horn. I need to clamp down my wheel a little better. It just moved on me. That's not good. There. Hopefully it doesn't slide anymore. You can see my mirror's going a little funky. I've got the game set to only reproduce mirrors, 2 mirrors, I think it is. But it gets confused sometimes and kind of blanks it out. So if I have just the one side on, that works fairly good. If I have both of them visible, it kind of decides to not work good. And there, they both need to be reproduced. We'll see if they blank out or go white or whatever they want to do. Not quite sure why it does it, because I only have the 2 on this tractor. So it's never reproducing more than that. I'm just going to leave the mower down and flip the corner. There's one black. Now you would never leave the mower down in real life, because you don't want to cut what you've just cut again. It's a good way to lose yield of the good leaves, the precious leafy goodness. This is the problem with this field, is you always have a diamond in the center after when you're done. It's not shaped quite square, but that's okay. Getting down here, almost done. One little bit there. I'm not going to lift her up, we'll just turn around and grab it. And there we go. We'll come over here to my little entranceway and not take the road, we'll just go down this way. So that's mowing hay. I'll stick the mower back up over there. There we go. Now I can't put this down because if I try to put it down it'll unfold it. So basically just disconnect it. If I'm on it right. There we go. Disconnection. Let's go and check these. By the end of the day they might be kind of ready. 82, 83, 82, 80, 80. Yeah, so they're maybe by the end of the day. Gonna hit the tree. We'll just let her coast down. Or not. So there we go, mowing hay. I think I'm gonna stop this one from here. Just because it's almost 45 minutes long. And in the next one we'll do raking. And if I can get rid of those other bales, I will do that. On the wagon, get some money coming in. Would be nice. Good enough. There we go. All right, well, if you're following along, thanks. If you like what I'm doing here, you want to follow the story, please like, subscribe, share it. Give me a comment below. Let me know what you like, what you don't like, what you think I could do better. I don't know if you saw in my behind me, I also am a guitar player. So there may be some guitar videos. Possibly. There are some on my YouTube channel already. I'm not sure if I have them set to private. I don't think I do. So you can check that out. You can see my horrible guitar playing. And then we'll see you the next time. The next video would be great. Thanks for coming along. We'll see you later.